I'm Elisa Mortensen, and this is Undo Redo. Let's take a look at all the things that happen in life that we would like to undo and have a chance to redo. Hi, guys. I am excited about this episode because I named it Peace on Earth with a question mark, because most of the time I feel like it's hiding and we have to go find it. It doesn't just happen. It's like, where's Waldo, right? But first, I'm planning next season with guests, and I want you to come be on this podcast to share your undo redo stories so other people can hear more examples of what is possible. Our stories are so profound and they impact the lives of others, so reach out to me. Let me know if you'd like to be on as a guest, and we will celebrate the major changes that you have had in your life because of implementing these concepts that we talk about here on Undo Redo podcast. I'm super excited about Undo Redo program 2024 debut. I will be capping the number at 10 people total because I love having a smaller, more intimate group. So send and enter your information at lifecoachalisa.com. There's been great success with my 2-day retreats that I use Undo Redo for, and I made the same mind-blowing experience into a 45-day program because slow and steady makes for longer lasting results. So, who wants to be out from being stuck in worry and anxiety and make decisions on behalf of yourself and others in a really beneficial way? Plus, who has hard time with boundaries? Are you unable to say no? Let's cure you of that. All the people pleasers in the house, raise your hand. You can cut overwhelming burdens that are unique to caregiving and people pleasing with the method I used, and it works. Maybe you just didn't know how until now. And life can be pretty miserable in that place of caregiving and people pleasing. So, if you get in the month of December, you will get 50% off the program debut next year in 2024. It will be half price because I'm going to be working some of the bugs out, and it will be full price after that. Okay, peace on earth. People, where is it? Right? We see it sometimes and it touches on us sometimes and we notice it and feel it sometimes, but where did it go? Let's talk about why we're here on earth. Okay, we were created and then we ourselves get to create. That's the cycle. But peace in this is possible, and we know that. We are of God. There are so many forms of worship out there that talk about God, that worship God. In humanity, all of us feel a divine pull, a pull towards something bigger than us that it can influence us in positive and strengthening ways. The whole point of being on this earth as a human is to connect with yourself. Since the only thing we have full control over is ourselves and our own agency and our reactions to things, it makes perfect sense that we are meant to connect with and master only ourselves. So, you are of God, and when you connect to yourself, you're connecting with heaven and you get instant clarity. Let's think about connection for a minute. We could use it, we could look up the definition. It could be maybe described as something you're linked to or hooked up to. You could even say that there's a flow between, like an electric cord or a hose, or that it pulls you or you pull it. Every human has a purpose here on earth. It's to grow and to learn and to care for oneself. I know that sounds selfish, and I know that doesn't seem very like Christ was the example of caring for everyone else, right? But he often retreated into the woods or into places he could be alone. Okay, so our whole point is to take care of ourselves and then share what we've learned to help others connect and care for themselves. Our connection and our mastery comes first. Like when you're in the airplane and you got to put your oxygen mask on. That means our own peace is created by us. It's a lens that we get to create to see the world through. So if peace is a pair of glasses we put on, then we need to kind of build ourselves these glasses. A lens that takes the most effort to create for ourselves is the lens of peace, the lens of happiness, the lens of gratitude. Humans are nudged to go higher and farther each time we outgrow something that was working for us before. There is so much discomfort in staying stagnant in the place that we've outgrown. We end up not pleased because of our lack of growth. If you're in a space that you have kept cluttered, let's say, and unorganized for years, and that worked for you because you know where to access everything, but it bothers you now, there's a reason. Or if you're in a relationship that isn't what you'd like it to be, you kind of don't even know how or where it went wrong, but you don't know what to do to change it. Acknowledge that there's a connection to something bigger than you that is available to you to help you. That flow, that connection from heaven, whatever you want to call it, the higher power, your, spirituality, meditative space, whatever you'd like to call it, it's there waiting for you all the time. You can access it at any time that you'd like. It reinforces trust and it provides an extra strength and gives you direction. So let's think about it in baby steps. If something is causing you chaos in a relationship, maybe it's somebody you're caring for, take it in baby steps. The first step is to get curious about it. If you are in an unorganized space that you would like to organize, slowly tackle small doable areas. Maybe try emptying one drawer and put everything back in that you've used in this last year. And get rid of the rest. Let's talk about the relationship again. If you're in a relationship and you decide to let go everything that has been said or done and just start new, connect with your higher power in order to achieve that and make that happen. That is a great idea. Things are going to come to your mind when you realize you've outgrown something and it's causing you stress and tension. You'll notice it's time to change. And in these relationships that we're having a hard time with, maybe you're both wrong. Consider that you're wrong too when you're against the other person. If you're refusing to show love and compassion and forgiveness to the other person, then it's just as well that you could be wrong too. Maybe it's just time to let it go and move on and say we were both wrong and let's start over. And you can invite heaven to do that. You're much more with this higher power than you are without it. It's okay to admit you're wrong for how you've been contributing to or perpetuating disorganization and dysfunction or problems alongside of this person you don't agree with. In the book of John, it says, "Peace I leave with you, and my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." Now there is where peace is found. It's in the struggle and frustration that we see we cannot elevate ourselves if we stay where we're at. So we go through a breakdown. We go through a letting go of what was in order to move into something new. Our human mind wants to avoid this at all cost because it's so painful. But our heart and our spirit can see it when we have done the work of connecting with ourselves. We can see what we truly need. We acknowledge change is necessary, and we can then make a commitment for small efforts towards a new way. It becomes easier to go through with practice, I promise. And the whole plan doesn't just unfold to you right all at once. It may not be exactly all mapped out, right? But it's okay because you have a higher power and he knows everything. And it's invited to be there with you. So you can rely on that knowing instead of your own knowing. It comes along as a guide and a beacon that you can trust. You can trust finding your way through as long as you come up with the next tiny step on your own. Use your agency. Then the power comes with you to help you through. We are more with the divine than we will ever be without the divine. And if it is always there and available to us, why would we not be using it in everything we are and everything we do? And teaching others about it so they aren't lost. That, I believe, is our purpose here on earth. That brings peace to everyone. Making sure that we ourselves aren't lost, miserable, and in burnout and anxiety, and making sure others aren't lost, miserable, and in burnout with anxiety. Hopefully, we're not just using our own strength to do everything. Life is evolving, and our own evolvement is what is required of us first. Then, when we become more, we have the wisdom, having gone through it, to teach others to become. That is how we're most effective. And then we hear, love thy brother as thyself. I believe we have to first know what loving thyself is. If God is at the beginning and at the end, he says, I am the beginning and I am the end. I am the Alpha and I am the Omega. Then he's there when you let go of something, and he's there when you start something new in its place. Any transition you want to have that is hard for you, your connection to the divine can be trusted, which is called faith, that it will be there providing clarity, and that it will validate your efforts as you go. Consider it being time to grow when you are looping in the same negative energy about any certain thing, something that's just been bothering you inside for so long. And right before you decide to change, there's a tension, there's a buildup of pressure. You just can't take it anymore. What you do with that is up to you. It's either going to be proving to yourself that you are capable and that you will do good with having more enlightenment and wisdom in your life, or that you're afraid of the work and the effort that it will take, so it continues to add pressure and holds you captive in frustration and misery. The worst part about this whole process is we usually quit right before that release of pressure. Instead of using our agency to just push through, we just quit right before the growth can happen. Why do we do this to ourselves? We do it all the time. It is all about accepting or resisting the change that's available to us. Do we willingly accept and be open to do what needs to be done? Or do we double down and fight to stay where we are, remaining in a mental rigidity and insist that things stay the same? Here's a spoiler alert for you. Nothing stays the same. It increases in annoyance and pain until you accept and go through with it, or deal with the consequences of denying your self-growth. There's really no way around this. So get out of your normal routine and go somewhere you are more needed. Somewhere that levels you up. Somewhere you become more. And the effect of you becoming more is that you will be more impactful in the lives of those around you love. The more we love us, the more we can love others. We will be proud of the way we showed up when we put in the work. And we will be tethered or connected to something bigger like God. The more connected we are to God, the less we look around us for approval and sit waiting for life to change. God can make more out of your life than you can, so connect to Him. Connect to the divine, connect to your higher power, and do the work to find your peace. Then you will be qualified to help the ones that you love find it too. I hope your holiday spirit is wonderful. I hope these tips are helping you, and I will talk to you next week. Thanks. Bye. If you thought of anyone during this episode, please share it with them. That is how the heavens reach us, is through each other.